The candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts will now be presented by Dean Carol Fote. I would like to remind the audience that a professional photographer is present and request that the audience please cooperate in keeping the aisles clear. Will the head marshal please raise the senior class for the conferring of their degrees?
Annie.
Okay, Annie.
Mr. President, the women and men now standing before you have completed all of the requirements of Dartmouth College for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. At the request of the faculty and on their behalf, I am so proud to present 986 outstanding, generous, and game-changing candidates to you for the conferring of these degrees.
Members of the class of 2009, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Dartmouth College, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts and declare you entitled to all of the rights, honors, and special privileges pertaining thereto.
Will the first two rows of the inside sections remain standing, and the rest of the rows please be seated until it is your turn to come forward. Names of the graduating seniors will be read as they come forward.
Marissa Shee Knodel.
Raymond Emilio Rodriguez.
Sharon Colleen Dawson.
Alessandra Vera Niekamp.
Elias K. Tapley.
Raymond Francis Paget.
Dylan James Nelson.
Nafisa Remtila.
Andrew John Lane.
Cinnamon Ruby Spear.
Molly Rice Bodie.
Andrew Edmund Deety.
Jeffrey Richard Kirsch.
Ann Ritgers.
Yang Yang Liu.
Bryce Douglas Lawrence Acree.
Alexander Nichols Abate.
Leslie Elise Atkins.
Dustin Zane Adkins.
Rashmi Agarwal.
Marina Agipakis.
Brittany Christine Agee.
Anthony Aluaduapo Abaje.
Matthew Ronald Ailey.
Andres H. Aguilera.
Marisa Donatha Alert.
Thomas Andren Albright Jr.
Raymond Frederick Allen.
Matthew Severs Alcaides.
Amelia Alvarez.
Yesenia Maria Alvarado.
Catherine Deanne Amble.
John Alexander Alzate.
Nana Korang Angpadu.
Kavakai Kaeo Amina.
Paige Caitlin Anderson.
Brendan Matthew Anderson.
Catherine Gilman Andrews.
Brett Cummings Andrews.
Erica Leslie Anhalt.
Caitlin Elaine Angelette.
Areza Alexandra Nicole Areza.
Azuka Ungoma Unukor.
Timothy Akukazuk Argetsinger.
Anthony Arch IV.
Elizabeth Colleen Escher.
Joan Abby Ashcraft.
Shane Donnelly Avedon.
Marika Thornton Austin.
Theodore Blum Babcock.
Taylor Allen Babcock.
Allison Eva Baker.
Dominic Romel Baker.
Andrea Jane Ball.
William Andrew Ballantyne.
Michael Allen Bamberger.
Erica O. Bambopa.
Jennifer Marie Bandy.
Udit Banerjee.
Michelle A.S. Barnes.
Alexander D. Barnett.
Jacob Daniel Barron.
Anna Patricia Barrett.
Erica Nicole Marie Barton.
Anthony Christopher Bates.
Hillary Joy Beach.
Nell H. Beatty.
John J. Beck Jr.
Daniel Maurice Becker.
Eben Elliott Bolte Bain.
Benjamin George Crucy Beislinger.
Anna Gertrude Becker.
Brian James Bench.
Natalie Isabel Berger.
Richard Wolk Berger.
Landon Thomas Bergner.
David Michael Berman.
Rachel Ivy Bernhardt.
Martin Francis Bernstein.
Nicholas Peter Binder.
Christiana Thomas Beatis.
Dakota J. Blackhorse Von Jess.
Brendan Robert Blake.
Andrew James Blancero.
Christopher Eugene Blankenship.
Samuel Lee Blazek.
Benjamin Coburn Blum.
Justine Innocenzo Blum.
Anna Chen Boardman.
Amma Bofa.
Anna Yaya Bofa.
Gregory J. Boguslavsky.
Alejandro Angel Borquez.
Amari A. Boschio Collin.
Andrew William Bamford.
Alexander Martin Bowers.
Shannon Krista Bauman.
Astrid Catherine Sarah Bradley.
James Francis Bermonte.
Derek Chan Brand.
Evan W. Brand.
Caroline Marcus Brandt.
Lauren Elizabeth Breach.
Adam Nishan Brewer.
Julia Maritza Bronson.
Joanna A. Brooks.
Christopher Elliott Brower.
Douglas Edward Brown Jr.
Julia Jennifer Brown.
Nicholas Tyler Brown.
Renee Elizabeth Brown.
Rembert Molino Brown II.
Alan Kwabena Bwansi.
Whitney Ann Buckholz.
Floyd Mungoa Buen.
Amber Bullard.
Colleen Donnelly Burbank.
Eric David Bushlow.
James Victor Caballero.
Robert Zachary Cable.
Timothy Waring Cahill.
Haoxiang Chai.
Molly Neal Caldwell.
Allison Hope Cayley.
Martha Hill Canning.
Jamie Lee Kaplan.
Lauren Constance Caracciolo.
Catherine Harriet Carey.
Kathleen Francis Carmody.
Minal Michael Karen.
Matthew Leary Carroll.
Christina Caitlin Costello.
Maria Leonor Castilla.
Ashley Elizabeth Cavall.
Matthew Jun Caverly.
Kyle C. Kavanaugh.
Nanette Beth Cedeno.
Morgan Dunlap Caudry.
Lydia Marie Shamas.
Molly Ann Chafe.
Stephen Ting Chang.
Elizabeth Lee Chang.
Benjamin James Chapman.
Tiffany Diana Chang.
Rupa Lakshmi Shari.
Brian Chien Chow.
Christopher J. Chen.
Leah Miranda Cheek.
Diane Marie Cheney.
William Yun Chan.
Katie Ting Dut Chen.
Hing Chang.
Joanne Kuhn Chung.
Ying Chang.
Edward Sophia Schuyler Chu.
Clara Christabel Chu.
Katie K. Chifshin.
Edward Deryu Chin.
Catherine Lynn Chiasano.
Daniel Chu.
Erin Chu.
Brian Guthrie Chung.
Helen Hu Ling Chow.
Angela Barbara Chow.
Annie Yungyuk Chung.
Fashad Nabi Chaudhry.
Lauren Nicole Clark.
Ryan Thomas Church.
Eric David Klausner.
Eben Joseph Clattenburg.
Carly Rose Clemis.
Alexander John Clementi.
Juliette Elizabeth Coffey.
Bianca LaBelle Cloutier.
Peter Lafton Cohn.
Amanda Lauren Cohen.
Gabriela Collins Fernandez.
Courtney Elizabeth Collins.
Whitney L. Coombs.
Dylan Richard Kahn.
Lee Daniel Cooper.
Alexander Joseph Cook.
Maxwell Lewis Capello.
Randa Rasmussen Cooper.
Julie Elizabeth Corwin.
Alexandra Elizabeth Correa.
Joseph Patrick Cridge.
Robert Peter Cousins.
Richard Ryan Williams Cummings.
Sarah Evans Krinkovich.
Joshua Brandon Curcio.
Caitlin Elizabeth Cunningham.
Alexander Stanford Charnetsky.
Allison Leigh Carreri.
Aaron Thomas D'Amato.
Emily Watroba Daly.
Nicholas Charles Danford.
Lindsay Hale Dana.
Molly Fairbank Davidson.
Timothy Patrick Daniels.
Gabriella Davila.
Harrison James Davies.
Courtney Allison Davis.
Amy Elizabeth Davis.
Dana Elise Day.
Kyle McDonald Davis.
Scott Nathan Decker.
Virginia Francis Deaton.
Julie Christine Delphin.
Thomas Philip DeFalco.
Lauren Elizabeth DeNatalia.
Elena Marie Del Real.
Joseph Paul Devoy III.
Anna Arcana Dev.
Kyle Martin Diamond.
Julia Elizabeth DeWall.
Alexandra Jane DeBranco.
Wade Diao.
Kristen Nicole Deedy.
Ray DiCiaccio.
Porter Wilson Deal.
Casey Richard Deal.
Deanna Dianescu.
Ryan A. Derringer.
Bridget Elaine DePrisco.
Karina Din Lovinescu.
Zoe Dimistrowski.
Lauren Elizabeth Ditrio.
Christine Marie Donnelly.
Thomas Patrick Donahoe.
Shane Everett Douglas.
Elizabeth Brenton Doolittle.
Brent Wesley Drummond.
Hannah Gear Dreisgacker.
Kevin Kai Du.
Meredith Taylor Dryman.
Ariana Rose Dugan.
Kaylee Dufresne.
Ian Patrick Dumont.
Benjamin Adam Duke.
Sanford E. Duncan.
Amanda Graham Dunville.
Michelle Gabriel Dunn.
Charles Edward Dunn.
Bernadette Enka Durr.
Stephen Robert Durham.
Alexandra East.
Catherine Elena Dotko.
Emily Frances Jenny Eberly.
Thomas Yale Eastman.
Emily Marie Eichenberger.
Timothy Delogie Edmonds.
Jonathan David Eisenberg.
Noelle Marie Eichenold.
Michaela Lise Adina Elam.
Kayla Pearl Eisman.
Larkin Elderin.
Mohammed Sharif Elotab.
Elizabeth Burnham Ellison.
Karen Rebecca Ellis.
Georgina Hastings Emerson.
Ibrahim Mohammed El Shami.
Javier Alexander Engel.
Nathan Santway Impsall.
Marianne Rachel Epstein.
Layla Council English.
Emily Jean Eros.
Agatha Irene Erickson.
J. Eric Estabrook.
Jonathan Robert Essington.
Kyle Garrick Evans.
James Cangill On.
Jacob V. Fainzelberg.
Kelly Kathleen Everhart.
Stephen Fang.
Kenneth Chan Fan.
Lauren Gavin Farley.
Donald Faraci.
Hannah Emily Farrar.
Kathleen Elizabeth Farley.
Rachel Emily Fader.
Kathleen Ellen Fay.
Jacob Aaron Feinzig.
Ezekiel Nathan Feibelman Turner.
Sylvia Costa Ferreira.
Laura Ann Felder.
John Matthew Fine.
Alexander David Figdell.
Kevin Robert Fisher.
Kyle Thomas Finnegan.
Mary Catherine Flanagan.
Kristen Sierra Fledseth.
Zachariah Hussein Foda.
Brian Liam Flood.
Emily Joanne Forline.
Erin Catherine Forbes.
Robert Wilkins Forster.
Rachel Emily Foreman.
Lauren Zabore Foster.
Claire Fortune Agan.
Jasmine Christina Francis.
Andrew James Fox.
Malcolm Scott Freeberg.
Adam John Frank.
Julian Fung.
Kenneth Charles Frost II.
Philip Reed Galligan.
Marina Galkina.
Andrew T. Galloway.
Sarah Elizabeth Galligan.
Cynthia Christina Galvez.
Caitlin Elizabeth Gallup.
David James Garcia.
Jeffrey Allen Owen Garber.
Ari Samuel Gaver.
Andrew DiMaggio Gates.
Lindsay Gebra Mariam.
Christopher Terrakilson Gebhardt.
Colin Marshall Gentry.
Amanda Gelman.
Priyanka Ghosh.
Elise Michelle George.
John Gordon Gibson.
Samuel Braden Gilroy.
Christopher Bernard Gilsdorf.
Jessica E. Glago.
Julia Christine Glasgow.
Ayla Alessandra Glass.
Ashley Nicole Gleason.
Amber Lee Goldie.
Arun Goyle.
Daniel Ever Gommel.
Daniel Gomez.
Catalina Elizabeth Gorla.
Eliza Etta Gonzalez.
Garrett T. Gosson.
Alexandra Nikolovaya Gorchilova.
Kurt F. Graber.
Amber Marie Gott.
Trevor Starring Granger.
Daniel Willis Golding.
Julia Sarah Grimberg.
Latreia Nicole Graham.
Andrew Livingston Gregory.
Andrew Brad Greenberg.
Alana Tamara Griffith.
Amy Beth Gregg.
Meredith Rachel Zahler Gringer.
Anna Claire Greskovich.
Aaron Lee Grunnison.
Marky Adrian Gremsley.
James Michael Guba.
Tamar Wilkins Groveman.
Jillian Lee Gundling.
Iran Gu.
Eva Guo.
Jody M. Gwen.
Anthony Kyle Guzman.
Avnish Gangaduras.
Kelly Susan Hackett.
Alexander Pierce Guyton.
Mary Louise Hallam.
Nari Kimmy Ha.
Andrew Philip Hahn.
Eric B. Hahn.
Ani Youssef Hanun.
Jillian Georgette Hamma.
Reem Aida Hanun.
Aaron Courtney Onley Hahn.
Catherine Elizabeth Harney.
William Clement Hansen.
Mark Joshua Harris.
Caroline Anais Harkins.
Molson Laurent Hart.
Kimberly Carolyn Harris.
Lauren Jean Hartz.
Tina Harrison.
Case Hathaway Zepeda.
Morgan Jean Hartley.
Joanna Marie Hauer.
Denise Claire Hassan.
Douglas Michael Hayes.
Bryson Reed Hauk.
Ross Watson Heisey.
Taylor Elise Hanschild.
Lucas Scott Henderson.
Taylor Henry Hedrick.
Robert Donovan Henley.
Craig C.G. Henderson.
Scott Anders Henning.
William Bowen Henderson Frost.
John Matthew Heinrich.
Elizabeth Scott Hennessy Severson.
Alan Whitney Carlson Hess.
Elliot Simeon Henry.
Dana Marie Hetzel.
Katie Ruth Herman.
Eleanor Elizabeth Hicks.
Laura Lee Hester.
Daniel Raymond Hilsinger.
Shannon Kathleen Heckstrom.
Sean Christopher Heiner Lehman.
Dylan Henry Higgins.
Cara Reeves Hitchner.
Catherine Marie Hilton.
Dewey David George Olin Hoffman.
Ashley Lauren Hines.
David Gregory Hollenberg.
Johanna Hohen.
Brendan Cullen Holm.
Elise Michelle Hogan.
Taylor Ross Holt.
Christiana Michelle Hollis.
Max S. Hopkins.
Adam Johns Holt.
Jennifer Huang.
Sophie Marie Hood.
Sanderson Marker Hull.
Emily Florence Huang.
Lindsay Maitland Hunt.
Brenna Sheen Hughes.
Tom Moore Hazarski.
Dylan Chandler Hume.
Danish Iqbal.
Vanessa Beth Hurley.
Mehal Jablonsi.
Lauren Ann Invik.
Nikhil Jen.
Hari Subramaniam Iyer.
David Joseph Jangro.
Joshua Mark Jacobson.
Andrew Jean-Louis.
Unirud Jungalapali.
Ying Jiang.
Heather Spillane Jenkins.
Patricia Joe.
Brenna Elhard Jenny.
Christopher Harold Johnson.
Diana G.
Sean Timothy Jones.
Sarah Brooke Johnston.
Daniel Victor Kagan.
Dan Jose Bachvili.
Nikolina Ilyeva Kalkanova.
Jacob Bernard Kahane.
Neil Christian Candler.
Andrew David Kaminsky.
Helen Soon Kang.
Dylan Timothy Kane.
Samantha Rachel Kaplan.
Onyinyechiku Ugunaya Kanu.
Francis Laura Karam.
Mayling Catherine Karageorge.
Ryan Patrick Carr.
Joseph Bertrand Carden.
Eric Scott Kaufman.
Sabira Kusuli.
Cecily Diane Mariko Kaya.
Allison Ho K.
Jamie Lee Keith.
Alden Lindsay K.
Margaret Ann Kennedy.
Caitlin Nicole Kelly.
Hazel Allison Kent.
Samuel Robert Kennedy.
Christian Gonthier Kiley.
Thomas Robert Kern.
Daniel Patrick Killian.
Jacqueline Ann Kerr.
Carmen Florine Kilpatrick.
Philip Samuel Killian.
Ella Jisung Kim.
Edward H. Kim.
Jung Min Kim.
James Kun-hee Kim.
Peter Francis Kitlis.
Thad Denton King Jr.
Michael Thomas Whelan Knapp.
Jessica Clarick.
Brian Edward Cook.
Clara Elizabeth Knutson.
Alice Kogan.
Emily Diane Kepsel.
Jeffrey Beyer Collefson.
Julia Koo.
David Kopek.
Anna Elizabeth Kriegel.
Kimberly Ann Cruz.
Radha Dea Shruti Kulkarni.
Nicole Yvonne Kurtzeborn.
Alan Paul Kwan.
Karen Jean Lako.
Nicole Edie LeBombard.
Jessica Catherine Labrie.
Catherine Rose Lacey.
Kyle Joseph Ladd.
Kyle Leslie Lagrata.
Kaylee Elizabeth Lambie.
Jenica Ashley Lample.
Allison Megan Landers.
Jessica Roosh Lane.
Kimberly Alyssa Lane.
Nicole Lai Lanza.
Rachel Arena Nadeo Laraka.
Matthew Lashoff Regis.
Alexander McIntosh Latham.
Teresa Marie Latanzio.
Cassandra Nicole Lauderdale.
Catherine Liliana Lachlan.
Eric Carl Lauritsen.
Megan Elizabeth Lowry.
Callison Rebecca Lawson.
Sarah Esther Lawson.
Connor G. Larry.
Andrew Sloan Lebovich.
Jamie Richard Lockley.
Jane Chen Lee.
Sarah Soyun Lee.
Shannon Ray Leilani Lee.
Suzanne Michelle Lehrer.
Nicole Rebecca Lebo.
Calliston Hope Bryant Lemke.
Sarah Ann Lenners.
Tim Latini.
Timothy C. Leung.
Noah Joel Levinson.
Carrie A. Lewis.
Winifred Amanda Lewis.
Bo Lee.
Catherine Elizabeth Boucher.
Carrie Cheng Lee.
Gregory Lodge Detweiler.
Elisa Lee.
Matthew Lawrence Elwin.
Chuan Liang.
Joseph Shimon Friedman.
Charles Sharp Liggety.
Catherine Elizabeth Gray.
Amy Sol Lim.
Benjamin Bertrand Homelson Meister.
Chris Ki Chong Lim.
Visuda Jirariajev.
Scott Allen Limbird.
Christopher Joseph Couple, Lieutenant.
Dai Lin.
Dana Catherine Leland.
Z Lin.
Brian Thomas Mengwasser.
David Christopher Lindberg.
Lauren Moore Miller.
Scott Alexander Linton.
Stephen David Reinitz.
Alex Jeremiah Lapai.
Oliver Van Rensselaer Townsend.
Chelsea Jean Little.
Gilbert Dean Littlewolf.
Kirby Liu.
Lucinda Shuangwang Liu.
Jonathan Ernest Levadas.
Amanda Catherine Lobel.
Elise Jesse Lockhart.
Johannes Robert Lohman.
Melissa Eleanor Lokensgaard.
Marissa Trinidad Lopez.
Diana Michelle Lopez Guevara.
David J. Louis.
Zachary Joseph Laverty.
Marcus Rafael Luciano.
Libby Ann Ludlow.
Ka-Yan Phyllis Luck.
Fiona Jane Lundley.
William Andrew Lundeen.
Jennifer Hongtam Luong.
Madeline Ann Lurio.
Heather Marie Luther.
Emily Kate Lynch.
Jenna Marie Lynch.
Randall Frederick Moss.
Charlotte Adele Moss.
Caitlin Ann McDonald.
Victoria Regina Macera.
Dominic Mark Machado.
Dexter Lee Mackey.
Michael Magner.
Vanessa Ann Magro.
Paul McDonald Magyar.
Andrew Armand Roger Mallory.
Benjamin Zadik Mandel.
Luke Evan Mano Halloran.
Jenna Diane Manula.
Adam Weeks Morano.
Julia Zug Marks.
Sarah Michelle Marlenga.
Emily Abernethy Marshall.
Patrick Clement Marshall.
Aaron Peter Marthin.
Caleb Joseph Martin.
Nilima Krishnapriya Marupudi.
Peter Anderson Matthias.
Julian J. Mateo.
Theodore Anderson Matthias.
Yoko Matsumoto.
Elliot Force Mattingly.
John Francis Mattamore Jr.
Nathan Saul Mazanson.
Jesse Hancock Maxwell.
Andrew Donald McCauley.
William S. J. McCarthy.
Kristen Elise McCormick.
Claire Cooper McConnell.
Thomas Regan McDermott.
Christopher Wilson McCune.
Samuel Matthew McDonald.
Erin Marie McDonald.
Dermot James McHugh.
Brendan Daly McGeehan.
Hannah Landauer McLaughlin.
Donna Marie Cosway McKinnon.
Marley Bigelow McMillan.
Ian Matthew McNabb.
Tara Casey McNerney.
Mallory Morgan McQueen.
Timothy Patrick McVeigh.
Ann Egerton McGargle.
Lillian Taha Merrill.
Jessica Jeanette Meneses.
Madhavi Latha Menon.
Emmanuel Mensa.
Courtney Claire Morell.
Jonathan Elias Merton.
Danny James Miklowitz.
Trevor Michael Middleton.
Sheldon Laura Miles.
Sean Taylor Millich.
Katarina Elizabeth Miller.
Matthew Michael Miller.
Stephanie Michelle Miller.
Sean Patrick Milligan.
Jeffrey Allen Malloy.
Christine Min.
Joshua Nathan Merkin.
Jarrell Edward Mitchell.
Rima Shirley Moria.
Justine Victoria Modica.
Allison Gainford Moe.
Tiberiu George Moga.
Timothy Jung Moak.
Angela Marie Monifo.
Jack Francis Monahan.
Daniel Montes de Oca.
Colin Michael Montgomery.
Margaret Ashley Montgoris.
Ryan Pender Moody.
Amy Yijung Moon.
Ritu Mundra.
Zachary Joseph Moore.
Stephanie Nicole Morales.
Kathleen Ellen Moriarty.
Catherine Ann Morrison.
Grace Huntley Moy.
Karen Elizabeth Moyer.
James Richard Mullen.
Jeanette Muniz.
Cheryl Ann Chubba Maranko.
Liesl Alice Murdoch.
Fiona Murguia.
Ian Patrick Murphy.
Ryan Matthew Murray.
Tessa Catherine Murphy.
Danielle Kristen Murray.
Jennifer Blair Murray.
Lee Adam Murtha.
Rehan Mutalib.
Joanne Isabel Nakio.
David Gil Nachman.
Sar Yusuf Nasir.
Catherine Allen Nash.
Sean Adam Nelson.
Elizabeth Eve Nelson.
Edward Walter Newhouse.
Jenna Davis Newgard.
Sarah Bartlett Newnham.
Eric Turner Newman.
Hen Mai Nguyen.
Julian Manho Ing.
Kit T. Nguyen.
Hongyan Lee Wen.
David W. Nye.
Kareem Tariq Niazi.
Alexander William Nomich.
Nathan John Naparko.
James Walter Novakowski.
Mary Faye Novak.
David Reginald Nutt.
Franklin Ikemba Obi.
Daniel Joseph O'Brien.
Devin Mora O'Connor.
Whitney Swan Auden.
Catherine Lee Wallace O'Donnell.
David Emmanuel Oken.
Conlon Edward O'Leary.
Alexander Forrest Olshansky.
Michael Amoyele Oshugaga.
Ruth Oluwafemi Omotunde.
David C. Ong.
Franklin Fernando Ordonez.
Deborah Denise Orgiel.
Joseph Tatum Ornstein.
Alexandra Lauren Ortego.
Courtney Aaron Oto.
Gregory Hunt O'Sullivan.
Michael Anthony Paliarulo.
Eric Michael Patagimas.
Emma Ann Polly.
Sham Palakirthi.
Megan Michelle Pelnitkar.
Brett Brian Palm.
George Constantine Panos.
Steve Pan.
Omar Pardisi.
Christine Marie Paquin.
Sung June Park.
Sean W. Park.
Yunki Peter Park.
Sonny Park.
Scott Thomas Parsley.
Sarah Joan Parkinson.
Eleanor Bonnie Rose Pascal.
Sarah Elizabeth Part.
Whitney Bell Patterson.
Joshua Scruton Patch.
Eric Jeffrey Paul.
Joanna Elizabeth Patterson.
Laurel Kimberly Peak.
Stacy Marion Payne.
Catherine Margaret Pease.
Tessa Sky Peart.
Daniel Lee Pang.
Kevin Patrick Pulakea.
Hannah Lane Parham.
Mara Caitlin Pennington.
Kirsten Marie Peterson.
Thomas Joseph Perry.
Zip Nyop Pham.
Kevin No Pfeiffer.
Andrew George Pinkham.
Caitlin Judy Pierce.
Rebecca G. Poskin.
Julia Michelle Plevin.
Tina Proprotnik.
Giles Tucker Poirier.
James Tate Preston Jr.
Andrew Thomas Preacher.
Robert William Blakely Pritchard.
Hillary Ann Preston.
Richard James Prutzer.
Shannon Joyce Prince.
Alana Hanson Purdy.
Alexandra I. Prokhorova.
Laura Doss Quinby.
Diana Vera Punko.
Yashadara Raja Lakshmi Rana.
Tyler Mark Putnam.
Lucy Randall.
Megan Kiasa Ramirez.
Danny Steve Rangel.
Glenn Randall.
William Jeffrey Raymer.
Alexander Morrison Rapp.
Parker Timothy Reed.
Arvind Reddy.
Kendall Ankeny Riley.
Philip Alexander Rahayam.
Douglas Ballard Rindle Jr.
Jennifer Suzanne Morris Reiser.
Shruti Ray Reddy.
Cassandra Prettymoon Rendon.
Philip A. Riza.
William Andrew Reynolds.
Laura Emily Richardson.
Kathleen Elizabeth Rice.
Owen Fullerton Roberts.
Gal Renat.
Elsa Esther Rodriguez.
Courtney Elizabeth May Robinson.
Monica Lynn Rodriguez.
Felida Rosa Rodriguez.
Gregory Dominic Rolfs.
John Jarman Rogers Jr.
Darcy Elizabeth Rose.
Laura Catherine Romaine.
Joanna D. Rosenberg.
Jordan Edward Rose.
Peter Sidney Rothbard.
John Matthew Ross II.
Kristen Ann Rounds.
Johnny Lance Rothenberg.
Molly Kumari Roy.
Frederick Hampton Roy III.
Ignacio Alberto Rueda.
Michael Clark Russell.
Jamal Dean Sapke.
Pete A. Sabori.
Irod Safin.
Weston Robert Sager.
Alyssa Tess Sager.
Shinsuke Robert Sakurai.
Gabrielle Santa Donato.
Ilan Claire Santo.
Jonathan Edward Santopadre.
Kai David Saul.
Laura Kristen Saylor.
Matthew Aaron Schenker.
Catherine Helen Schiavone.
Reginald Chukwameka Shakel.
Benjamin Charles Allen Schiffman.
Jacob Laszlo Schindel.
Matthew Jordan Schlossberger.
David Philip Schmidt.
Catherine Markina Schmidt.
Sonia Louise Schnee.
Adam Jacob Schoenfeld.
Corin Kimberly Bennett Schramm.
Anna Ruth Schumacher.
Jennifer Ann Schuster.
Jessica Ann Schuster.
Ariel Garin Schwartz.
Carl Davis Jeffrey Shakatano.
Amanda Jane Skull.
Brian Edward Scullin.
Kevin James Scully.
Jordan Elise Sedlacek.
Peter Charles Seal.
Ravital Leah Siegel.
Jeremy Allen Sidling.
Andrew Cheney Seidman.
Oleg Borisovich Seletsky.
Khan Allen Mehmet Schneiden.
Federico Cesar Sequeira San Clemente.
Karina Rose Cerez.
Nathaniel Weatherby Service.
Uday Seth.
Elena Isabel Severinghouse.
Annabelle Whitney Seymour.
Jeffrey Stewart Schaefer.
Herschel Kushup Shah.
Kimia Shahi.
Aleem Sheikh.
Alan Edward Chinosky.
Caitlin Janine Sheehan.
Kelsey Elizabeth Sheehan.
Jonathan Scott Scheller.
Peter Judd Shalito.
Bailey Shen.
Tori Elizabeth Shepard.
Kyle Evan Sherry.
Connor Keith Shields.
Caroline Shen.
Stephen Shin.
Stella Spiro Scodrani.
David Glenn Short.
Dulce Hernandez Schultz.
Jesse Samuel Silberberg.
Catherine Ross Silberman.
Christopher John Silverman.
Hannah Claire Simon.
Andrew Colin Simmons.
Aaron Mark Sims.
Frank Jackson Taylor Sisson.
Andrew Cameron Sloan.
Justin Sebert Slick.
Shasta Star Small.
Elena J. Smith.
Ashley E. Smith.
Charles Hunterson Smith.
Emily Esfahani Smith.
Jenna Christine Smith.
Jennison Crocker Smith.
John Peter Smith.
Nathaniel French Smith.
Nicholas McLean Smith.
Teresa Renee Smith.
William Wendell Smith.
Hudson Scott Smythe.
Juan Xian Singh.
Megan Nicole Snively.
Grace Elizabeth Snow.
Andrew S. Sun.
Pavel Sotskov.
Christine Marie Specht.
Joshua Lee Spicer.
Amy Faith Spicer.
Stephen Tyler Spitz.
Kirsty Annika Spoot.
R. Cole Springer.
Konstantinos Theodoros Spiris.
Jennifer Nelson Stebbins.
Lindsay Hope Steinbach.
Samantha Lorraine Stimmel.
Brittany Alicia Stinson.
Yevgenia Strakovsky.
Lauren Elizabeth Strickler.
Yong Su.
Carl Rollins Sullivan IV.
Caitlin Gil Suslevich.
Jenna Marie Sullivan.
Asofu Suzuki.
Zachary Allen Swiss.
Carol Ann Zerkowski.
Edward Manuel Tabaski.
Christopher Seiji Takeuchi.
Courtney Rachel Talmadge.
Marissa Reina Tanny.
Maura Ellen Tapman.
Jessica Alicia Taub.
Elizabeth Helens Teague.
Felicia Jessica Teller.
Brett Daniel Tinnenhouse.
John Ternovsky.
Dylan Duncan Thomas.
Jess Erin Lewis Thomas.
Julian Franklin Thomas.
Melissa Singer Thompson.
Evan Lincoln Tice.
Rory Warehouser Berenger Titcomb.
Ediz Tianshun.
Natalie Ray Todd Zabel.
Kinney E. Toro.
Victoria Catherine Whitmore Tumanoff.
Ruslan Tavbulatov.
Emily Margaret Trentacosta.
Colin Patrick Tressler.
Jacob Charles Troutman.
Stephanie Ann Trudeau.
Julia Say.
Richard Constantine Sen.
Frederick Claremont Tucker.
Catherine Suzanne Twyman.
Jane Vanessa Tucker.
Stephen M. Yubnoski.
Stephen Yuchen Ong.
Amara Adanze Ugboaja.
Robin Nicole Hewley.
Ugochi Juliet Ukegbu.
Dier D. Upshaw.
Courtney Lauren Valentine.
Boris Victor Babson.
Sarah Ames Van Dyke.
Marcy Elizabeth Van Arnhem.
Daniela Maria Vasquez.
Jacob Joseph Van Hook.
Alexander Wells Vespoli.
Miguel Gerardo Velasquez.
Jesse Fryman Victor.
Jason William Victor.
Emma Joanne Virginia.
Andrew Fitz Randolph Von Kuhn.
Kimberly Alexis Wade.
Paige Bermel Wagley.
Philip Glenn Wagner.
Elizabeth Ann Way.
Damaris Yamin Walker.
Stephen Paul Walker.
Saliha Wakar.
Hannah Taylor Wata.
Amanda Rebecca Watson.
Emily Marie Watson.
Haley Christine Renshaw Wasson.
Matthew Allen Ween.
Shelley Ann Weaver.
Ariel David Weber.
Audrey Lynn Weber.
Elizabeth Jane Weber.
Stephen Joseph Weber.
Nicholas Regan Weir.
Derek Lawrence Weiss.
Nathaniel Emerson Wells.
Elizabeth C. Worley Prieto.
Ian G. Wheat.
Ellen Christine Wheeler.
Catherine Nell Wisenhunt.
Jahari J. Wiggins.
Elizabeth Ann Wiley.
Carla Jean Williams.
Leah Catherine Williams.
Mark Wilson.
John Fortney Williamson.
Ryan Lavis Wilson.
Melinda Ivy Wilson.
William Douglas Winkleman.
Jeffrey Martins Wiltsey.
Dominic Alexander Winsky.
Rachel Eve Winograd.
Amanda Christie Wintershorsch.
Tessa M. Winter.
Tara K. Vogelmuth.
Stephen B. Wittels.
Jeannie Wong.
Hillary Von Sant Wolcott.
Joseph Marvin Wood.
Linman Wu.
Karen Lynn Woolsey.
Hillary Rose Martinez Wool.
Chingong Wu.
Owen David Worley.
Timothy Arthur Wunderlich.
Wu Cha Singh.
Linda Lei Zia.
Grace Ann Weiler.
Hanlu Yang.
Joe Zhu.
Eliza Doreen Yellowbird.
Katie Yang.
Jesselyn G. Yu.
Na Young Yi.
Amanda Lee Young.
David Nathan Yas.
Tyler Allerton Young.
Andrew Christopher Young.
Faye Hua Young Yu.
Brian C. Yu.
Andrew David Zabel.
Ryan Hyun Yuk.
William Zachary Zahner.
John Ariel Zaleski.
Sin Zhang.
Nuohang Zhang.
Jalene Laney Zhao.
Ziliang Zhang.
Charles Aaron Zada.
Sarah Ann Zimbler.
Ashley Ann Zuzek.
Denise Zhang Ming. Stephanie Ellen Zakowski.
Will the head marshal please raise the senior class?
Well done, Annie. Members of the class of 2009, this moment has annually afforded me a special opportunity to extend my hearty congratulations to the graduates. And I do so now for the 11th and final time as president. I salute the class of 2009. This is your day. I am confident that you will forever cherish this occasion. There will be few times in your lives when you will be surrounded by so many who care so much about you. Your hearts, I know, are filled with many things on this day. My custom and my pleasure is to participate with you and acknowledge in one of them a sense of gratitude. I join you and ask you to join me in thanking the faculty who taught you as well as learned with you, the staff who supported you, the families who sacrificed for you, and the friends who sustained you. Thank you all. And I also would like to extend a special salute to all who received graduate and professional degrees. We celebrate your accomplishments, and we are enriched by your contributions to this community of learning. We have full confidence in you and all that you will accomplish. So here we are at commencement, by definition and design, a beginning, not an end. Hard though it is for some of us to get our arms around that distinction today, but we shall. My approach to this ceremony has been to encourage graduates on a day filled with memories to embrace the future. We acknowledge that this is a beginning in a world that is different from the one that you imagined when you came to Dartmouth. And that fact alone should provide all of the rationale you will need for the value of a Dartmouth education. The liberal arts provide you with the intellectual capacity to deal with the unexpected. And the best advice I can give is that you should always expect the unexpected. The class of 1959, whom we welcome today in celebration of their 50th anniversary of their commencement, can affirm that the world in which lives are lived and dreams are pursued is an unpredictable place. Despite this, they accomplish much, and we salute them with pride and welcome them back with affection. But you also know about unpredictability. Your class matriculated during the same year as the tragedy of Katrina. You saw the war in Iraq reach its most violent depths. You were horrified by acts of genocide. You spent your senior year facing the headwinds of the greatest economic downturn since the 1930s. But you also shared in the excitement of the historic inauguration of an African American as President of the United States. You bore witness to the first Olympic Games hosted in China. You experienced firsthand the power of social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter, which will change the ways in which we interact with each other. In your time here, you have engaged the forces of change, the twists of fate, and the turns of history. Some of you volunteered to support Katrina's victims. Others joined the political campaigns. You advocated for the people of Darfur. you decide to enlist in the military or to join the Peace Corps or to teach or to participate in service groups. And all of you are imbued with a commitment to make a difference and the confidence to believe that you can, whether you seek to do that on the world stage, in your profession, or in your local community. Over the years, I have shared with the graduates some of my observations about the potential they have in a world of change. I would summarize them. It is fine to seek fame and fortune. You never need to be defensive about pursuing material dreams, which many of you will succeed in achieving. But the best things in life cannot be counted or owned. Rather, they can be enjoyed, and they can be most fully enjoyed with those whom you care about and those who care about you. A corollary is that each of us associated with Dartmouth is privileged, regardless of the degree of privilege with which we arrived here. And with privilege comes a responsibility to those who do not share our good luck. No personal accomplishment is as rewarding as watching those whom you have encouraged, mentored, taught, and supported accomplish their dreams. Thirdly, be independent and self-sufficient, but be these things without also being selfish or lonely. Reach out to help others or to seek a helping hand when you need it. And finally, even though many of you think you know what you will do with your lives and when you will do it, you are due for some surprises. Embrace the surprises and pursue the unplanned. Lives are things to be lived. They are not agendas to be followed. My approach to this ceremony has been to encourage graduates on a day filled with emotion to embrace the future. I still do that even as I grapple with the same bittersweet feelings of not being quite sure about letting go of the present. Each of our lives is energized by our dreams and aspirations and is anchored by experiences that fill our memories. Memories are wonderful, but for the young, it is dreams that must dominate. You can all be forgiven for allowing memories of friends and experiences, of the sights and sounds of this place, to fill your thoughts today. So they do with me. But we all need to resist surrendering to memory in ways that suggest that the best parts of our lives are done. Dartmouth encourages our aspirations and our confidence. Let us not relegate this place of optimism and hope to the fixed frame of memory. As I told you 4 years ago, we have work to do, you and I. And now we each move on to another phase of that life assignment. As we do, Susan and I will follow your accomplishments even while we pursue our own new adventures and dreams. If the memories of my life enrich it immensely, I am not yet ready to allow them to crowd out the dreams, but I surely shall cherish those dreams and memories. But now it is time for leave-taking. And this takes on a new and more personal meaning for me today. As Dr. Seuss asked, "My goodness, how the time has flown. How did it get so late so soon?" But finally, this day is about you, and surely it is for you. We know that you go forth from Dartmouth in good and capable hands, your own. Near the end of the 19th century, Walt Whitman wrote, "The strongest and sweetest songs yet remain to be sung. We leave them still for your voices." But know, too, as you leave today, that the door here is always open. The Inuit sculpture standing in front of McNutt Hall reminds us of Dartmouth's historic ties and ongoing commitment to Native American education. But that is more than a reminder of our history. It also whispers to each of us, welcome. Welcome, as you always will be here. You are ever a part of Dartmouth Undying, as Dartmouth is forever a part of you. President John Sloan Dickey always concluded his annual commencement address by saying, and now the word is so long, because in the Dartmouth Fellowship, there is no parting. So, good and sustaining friends, congratulations. I am so very proud of you. Good luck. And so long.
Will the audience please rise and join the Glee Club in singing two verses of the Alma Mater.
Dear old Dartmouth, give a rouse for the college on the
The audience is requested to be seated while the platform group, faculty, and graduates march out.
Thank you.